Hi, my name is Mike Waller, and I'm the owner of MW Sports Psychology Consulting Group, and I'm a certified sports psychologist. And today I want to present to you on stress and anxiety management as it relates to performing as an athlete. As a former athlete, we're on a lot of stress, and we're on a lot of anxiety when going out to be able to perform to our capability. And so today I want to talk to you about how to deal with your stress and anxiety. That way it will not interfere and get in your way when it comes to performing. What is stress? Stress is simply being overwhelmed in your feeling when a situation or experience that is unexpected. If you allow that, if you don't get in front of that stress, it will get in front of you. So it is important that as I discuss later on how to deal with the stress, it is important that you underscore that we have to make sure you stay in front of the stress. Anxiety is when you are feeling not only overwhelmed, but you are feeling intense worry and fear about a situation or control. And the thing about anxiety, it can come in different forms and shape, and it affects you not only mentally, but physically and physiologically as well. So again, I will just share with you as for some responses and some techniques and some tools in order to deal with those. Again, we're under a lot of stress and anxiety. So I'm hoping after you watching this presentation on how to deal with your stress and anxiety, it will make you a better athlete when you're able to go out and perform according to your capability. There are two models when it comes to anxiety. The first one is called control. Are you able to control your stress and anxiety when performing? Instead of it is controlling you. If you again do not get in front of your stress or anxiety, it will control you and interfere in your ability to perform to your capability while out there. The second model is called catastrophe. With the catastrophe model of anxiety, there's a sharp decline in your ability to be able to perform. You're not able to control your bodily sensations, and as a result, you're tensed up, your muscles are not where you want it to be, and that way, as a result, you're not able to execute and perform to your capability. Optimal anxiety level. When that optimal level of anxiety is in play, then it get in your way in your ability, in your way of being able to perform to your capability. And the last one is called self-confidence. If your self-confidence is interfered with negative thinking or negative thoughts, you are not able to go out and perform because you have allowed the stress and anxiety to be overwhelmed by it. Next, I want to talk to you about the factors in dealing with stress and anxiety. The first factor is the perception of what you have, what you think anxiety and stress is. If you've never been told, especially as a young person growing up, that you're later on going to have to deal with stress and anxiety, then you will be affected by it. The next one is what we call your perception. If you don't know, you really can't see stress and you really can't see anxiety, so as a result, your perception of it is, wow, I can't really see it, but I know I can feel it because my heart is beating fast, my pulse is racing, my mind is racing. You know those are physical effects, the responses that you are reacting to it, but at the same time, you're like, well, I can't see it, so your perception of it, And the third part is how you're going to perceive it and how you're going to deal with it. How do you see it after you have found out that, wow, I'm being affected by this. My heart is increasing, I can feel it. My thoughts are racing, So how am I going to deal with this? So again, how you see it, and deal with it. Next, we're going to talk about the responses of dealing with stress and anxiety. There's what we call the physiological response to dealing with anxiety and stress. If your muscles are not relaxed and you're trying to go out and perform, then you're going to be hindered because you're tense, you're not able to move around. It's almost like an injury that you're not aware of. And that injury of stress and anxiety has impacted you to the point where you're not able to go out and perform. And the second one is the psychological. If you're not able to control your thoughts, your emotion by relaxing and concentrating, then it will get in the way of your performing. So it's important that psychologically as well as physiologically, that you are in front of the anxiety. And one of the things that I do, having played tennis for a number of years, is that I compartmentalize my stress and anxiety level. I don't give it no more than 5 or 10 minutes, and then I put it on the shelf and go on to something else. Finding tools to distract myself from it, because once I have dealt with it and say, okay, I'm not going to let you control me, I'm going to stay in control. So I don't give stress and anxiety a whole lot of energy. And so I'm saying to you, as an athlete, let's get in front of it, let's compartmentalize and not allow stress and anxiety to take over. Some of the tools and techniques in assessing those responses to anxiety and stress is what we call muscle relaxation. Learning how to relax your muscles, not allowing your muscles to be intense, because if they are, then you're not able to perform like you're capable of performing, because you're all tensed up and everything. So you have to learn how to relax those muscles. The next one is called visualizing. Visualizing by allowing your mind to go to a place where you can be comfortable and relaxed. The next one is what we call visualizing exercise. You are able to find a place that is not where you're not interrupted or interfered with, and that way you'll be able to exercise in your mind how you are able to release that stress and anxiety. And the last one is what we call the breathing techniques. It is often talked and shared, especially when people are stressed out or under a lot of anxiety. The first thing I say to them is breathe. Take a minute, pause, slow it down, breathe. And I want to share with you what I call the 5-5-5 when it comes to breathing techniques. You're going to do this 5 times. You're going to breathe in, hold it, breathe in through your nose, hold it for 5 seconds, and then breathe it out counting to 5. Breathe in, hold it, and release it. And you do that 5 times. And that is called the 5-5-5 when it comes to breathing techniques. And a lot of athletes use varying forms of breathing techniques. There's also one called the 7 steps. But one that fits your model is the one that you're capable of using. That as far as helping you, but more importantly, learning how to breathe instead of allowing, because what the breathing does, it slows down the chemical flow in your brain, and it reduces the onset of anxiety and stress, and also allow you to stay in front as opposed to allowing stress and anxiety to get in front of you. You got to stay in front of your head. As an athlete, it is important as you continue to grow and becoming and performing when relative to dealing with anxiety and stress. Now, I want to share with you the 5 tools that I use as a sports psychologist in working with athletes to teach them relative to relieving their stress and the anxiety level. First one is called meditation. Meditation is a form of mindfulness which will allow you to sit, whether you're sitting straight up in a chair, simply closing your eyes and focusing on something or repeating a certain word over and over again. And if you can do that successfully for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, it brings a certain level of calmness to you. The second one is called nature. Nature is so wonderful to be able to go outside on a nice, beautiful day where you smell the flowers, you hear the birds humming, you see the children outside playing, and it serves as a wonderful way of distracting yourself from all that is going on. And before you know it, your stress and your anxiety is put to the side. The next one is called yoga. Yoga is done in different forms, and what I've done, I've downloaded different yoga tapes. And the one that I exercise is where I use a lot of stretching. And again, those stretching help me to reduce the tension in my body and also in my mind. And more importantly, it releases what we call serotonin as well as dopamine, which are the positive chemicals, and what I call the feel-good chemicals. So again, you can download some yoga, some YouTube tapes on different yogas that you can do, and you can just do that once or twice a day to help you reduce and deal with your stress. The next one is eating healthy. One had never thought that eating healthy would also be a good tool to assist in reducing your stress and anxiety. I try, more importantly, to eat colorful fruits and vegetables because in turn they release certain chemicals within those fruits. They have certain vitamins A, B, and D, and D, C, and D that help to minimize the stress and anxiety as well. For example, I eat a lot of watermelon and cantaloupe and banana and apples that are colorful. I eat as far as green leaf fruit, the vegetables, spinach, cabbage, greens, and things like that. Colorful fruits and vegetables that release the certain chemicals and certain vitamins that are also good to reduce the level of anxiety and stress in your body. And the last one is called exercise. Regardless of what exercise you employ, it's important to do some form of exercise. For example, walking, riding a bike, lifting weights, boxing, whatever form of exercise that you choose to do, it all is relative to assisting you especially as an athlete, to perform to your highest potentials and abilities. So again, to reiterate, the 5 tools and technique that assist in relieving stress and anxiety is meditation, nature, yoga, eating healthy, and exercise. I presented to you techniques and tools and responses to how to deal with stress and anxiety when it comes to performance in your respective sport that you participate in. At the end of this presentation, I would like you to click on the link to see where you are in terms of answering the questionnaire on where you are in terms of your anxiety and your stress level. I presented to you again, my name is Mike Waller, the owner of MW Sports Psychology Consulting Group, a certified sports psychologist, and I presented to you a presentation on how to deal with stress and anxiety when performing and participating in your respective sport. Thank you.